Uh, I have the video queued up for you. I'll have to refresh the page. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sumi. Hey, Sumi. What's up? I have Joe Biden caught sniffing again. I have video to start out with. Everybody's so scared of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's maybe giving a rally right now. Maybe Nikki Haley and Donald Trump are giving a rally right now. It's come down to a two-person race. Two persons, Donald Trump and Nikki Haley, Nimrata, I think her name is, who is complaining about racism growing up, which is really strange because I would think people would think she was white from the way she looks, but apparently she was made fun of every day for being brown. So yeah, he was caught not just sniffing but nibbling. I'll show you. I'll show you. It's pretty gross. Donald Trump just said that he thinks Biden is going to drop out of the race. So I'll run a poll. I'll run a poll. Yes. So I'll run a poll right now. Let me see. What's up, Edgar? What's up, Scott? What's up, Stephanie? Let me run a poll that says, will Biden drop out? I think I've run this poll before. Drop out. Yes, no. Okay, easy. So, Donald Trump says he will. I'll give you the latest polls. It's not going well for Nikki Haley if she wants to win. She says she's going to keep doing the campaign all the way through Super Tuesday. The next primary is in South Carolina on the 24th. Joe Biden is in a primary too in New Hampshire, although he didn't put his name on the ballot for whatever reason. So that's interesting. He has a write-in campaign for him, but it could be an embarrassing situation if he wins just by as much as Trump wins by. Let me play you this. I'll grab my wall. Scary. Oh, really? Really? That's what you're going to do to me, huh? Even though I refresh the page, you're going to keep. Oh man, if that's true of all my videos, we're going to have problems today. So let's see. Let's see. Because I have many videos to play for you guys. All of them are doing it. Oh my god. If I cancel out of this, it's gonna. Oh my goodness. I can't refresh Chrome. What am I gonna tell you guys? I tried out another video you didn't hear. Let me see if this video plays. No. Oh my gosh. What are we gonna do? Okay. I'm gonna have to refresh the I'm gonna have to close my browser. I'm gonna have to exit out of my browser. And I'm running my show through my browser. So apparently it keeps running even after I do that. I could tune back into it, but you guys are going to have to give me a break for a second because I have to restart Google Chrome. So here we go. It's going to be a short break. Sorry, guys. Please stay tuned in. I apologize for this. This is not what I'm hoping to do, but the videos were playing before I started. And now all of the videos, which I have a whole bunch. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right. See you guys in a second. Add to stage. I'm here. I'm here. Now let's see if the videos are playing. I'm going to try this one. Okay. Oh, there's still 50 people tuned in. That didn't take too long. You hear Sumi? Was I still on, even though the thing was closed? I don't know how it all works. Did it still keep me on? So here we are. We're here for the show. We're happy to be alive is what we are. So these are how scared. Okay, so now I can show you again. This is how scared people are of Donald Trump, Alex Soros, etc. Hey, Be More Busker. Hey, Cadence. Hey, Starduster. Happy to have you guys here. Let me play this video here.
We just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere but are customs. And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away. But
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again?
Sure. I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order.
I was afraid for my own well-being. I thought I could wind up in Guantanamo Bay. I think I still could. I mean, he was ranting about me all last week again. He's obsessed.
And we joke darkly about the fact that in a second term, a number of us will be in orange jumpsuits in Guantanamo Bay. And I say that the comment is half facetious because Donald Trump actually did have a vision while I was in the administration to go use the terrorist prison at Guantanamo Bay to house political prisoners.
In a recent profile, General Milley raised the possibility that he thought if Trump was reelected, he would throw his opponents in jail.
Well, think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like.
Well, nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have.
He will imprison, he will execute whoever he's allowed to imprison, execute, drive from the country.
What you see here on the ground, Deborah, is there's no indication that the military process, the legal process, is going to shut down anytime soon. About 100 yards across the buildings that are in front of me, down into Camp Justice, there is a major construction project going on. They are, in fact, building another courthouse, and they are expanding the workspace for the handling of classified materials by the prosecution. This is a big project. It's over $15 million. So all of that goes to these interesting optics that here on the island, they're expanding the military legal process with physically a new courthouse, while at the same time in Washington, the administration is talking about shutting down the detention camps.
There you go. So you can see how scared they are. That's Donald Trump coming back. Welcome to the show. Welcome all across the world. Even in Ireland, I saw somebody checking in. Good to see you guys. We like to have this community here together where we talk about the news. Is coffee bad for you? Today, I learned I look at ways to budget because I don't have money, right? So I need to get things cheap. Gas station coffee. That's my tip for you guys today. It's not bad if you go to a place that has decent coffee because, people are buying it. It's pretty fresh. And they actually had a higher caffeinated version of it. It was $1.49. So how's that for Biden inflation? So gas station coffee, that's a life hack instead of buying it at Starbucks. If you want just drip coffee, or they had all kinds of different stuff. They had some kind of fancy cold brew coffee too. I might try more later. CHT says, I like my own coffee. I make it home. That's good. That's better. I like to buy coffee. I don't know why, but for $1.49, it's pretty close to making it yourself. Yes, that's my life hack for today. But drinking coffee is bad for the planet. Let me show you that. Drinking coffee is bad for the planet. It contributes to global warming, climate change. Here, check it out.
We'll be having our coffee before the session, and you raised the coffee example. I'd love just to give you the chance to expand on that.
Basically, the coffee that we all drink emits between 15 and 20 tons of CO2 per ton of coffee. So we should all know that this is every time we drink coffee, we are basically putting CO2 into the atmosphere. The other, and one of the reasons is because most of the coffee plantation, or most of the coffee is produced through monoculture. And monoculture is also affected by climate change. The quality of these nature assets is deteriorating quite rapidly.
There you go. So there's a problem. Drinking coffee is bad for you. I just put up my link, buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Now 1 coffee is worth 3 coffees if I do it that way. Otherwise, if you buy a drip coffee at a coffee shop, it's like $4. And it's pretty much the same. In fact, it might not even be as fresh. So definitely take advantage of that life hack, which I told you. Or you can go to the car dealership where they have a Starbucks coffee machine and you can get unlimited refills. You have to pretend you're there shopping for something, but that's another hack I learned. I went to the Jeep dealership to talk about an extended warranty. And while I was there, I hit up their Starbucks machine multiple times. It just brewed multiple coffees for me. So that was a good hack too. All right. Joe Biden once again is threatening Americans, says that AR-15 isn't going to be good enough when the government comes after you. And the government has come after many patriots in the past. And there was Waco, Ruby Ridge, who else? That famous radio guy that died too, because he was on gun charges. You guys might know who I'm talking about. So, but Bill Cooper, they'll come after you. So an AR-15 isn't going to be enough to protect you. You need a
I love people who say the blood of liberty, or the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots. Well, guess what, man? I didn't see a whole lot of patriots that are out there walking around making sure that we have these weapons. Well, and if you really want to worry about the government, you need an F-16. And I love people who say,
if you really want to worry about the government, you need an F-16. Okay, so he's threatening you guys again. Here's the sniffy sniff. I'll play you that video since I promised it. Sniffy sniff, Joe Biden. It's pretty gross. Here it is. What the hell? So gross. Oh, God. Then he goes in for the kiss. The girl hates it. She's so scared of him. Oh, man. Woo, that's a bad one. Did you guys see the football games yesterday? They were pretty good. If you're into, people say it's rigged. I should ask you guys if the NFL is rigged. So, hey, Sumi. Hey, you want to be on the show? I showed you on the show already. You're good for coffees. I'll read the coffees that I got from the last show. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody who supports the show. I appreciate you guys. Remember, we have t-shirts at truthclothing.io. Now, I told you yesterday that Ron DeSantis dropped out of the race. Let's look at the polls. New Hampshire is tomorrow. So, big day. And it could be the end for Nikki Haley if she doesn't do better. If she doesn't do better than the polls are predicting. The latest polls are 52-34, with DeSantis getting 8% in this poll. Washington Post Monmouth poll. Insider Advantage looks like they made the poll after DeSantis dropped out of the race, perhaps, and Trump is up to 62-35. So almost 30 points. Now, if he wins by 30 points, that'll be a big showing. So, and then I don't think Nikki Haley has a chance. She doesn't like Trump. She says Trump is as bad as Biden. I'll show you that. So in the Democratic primary, Biden, which people would have to write in, gets only 61%. And his challenger, Dean Phillips, I think his name is getting 16%. He campaigned in New Hampshire, and Williamson gets 5%. So if he doesn't win it's kind of embarrassing if these other guys do really well, even though Biden took himself off the ballot. So another poll has Trump 57, Haley 38. So that's 20 points or 19. So the closest is UMass but that still has DeSantis in the race. And with DeSantis endorsing Trump, you would think that the DeSantis vote would mostly go to Trump. So in hypothetical polls, Biden, see, this is what Haley's talking about, is these hypothetical polls where they match up Trump versus Biden and Haley versus Biden. You see that what I'm looking at here, these polls here. So in these hypothetical polls, Trump loses in Virginia to Joe Biden and Haley wins against Joe Biden. So if it's just the two of them, but it will probably be 3 or 4 candidates because Bobby Kennedy is running too. And Bobby Kennedy is polling pretty well. I mean, 13% in New York. And I saw a national poll where he was at like 20% actually. So, but this is what Nikki Haley is telling people right here. She says, oh, I would win against Trump. And that's because I guess she's kind of like a Democrat, pretty much. She's similar to Democrats. And people are tired of Joe Biden. Joe Biden has a 43% approval rating, 56% disapproval. Right track, wrong track is 30 points in the direction of being on the wrong track. So people aren't satisfied. Democrats point out things like people say crime is worse, but it's actually not worse. But check this out. I have something. Let's see if I have it. Here we go. Democrats say that people think crime is worse, even though it's not worse. But check this out. InNOut's closing in Oakland. So that's a Democrat-run city. They're closing because of crime. I'll play that video for you. So is crime...
InNOut Burger plans to close its only restaurant in Oakland because of crime in that area. The burger chain released a statement saying the restaurant near the Oakland airport will be closing March 24th. The statement says, despite taking repeated actions to make things safer for customers and employees, they're still regularly the victims of car break-ins, property damage, thefts, and armed robberies. And the company's statement also said, quote, this location remains a busy and profitable one for the company, but our top priority must be the safety and well-being of our customers and associates. We cannot ask them to visit or work in an unsafe environment. The company also said that all employees will be offered either a transfer to another InNOut location or offered severance pay. InNOut Burger
I might be
plans to
applying for a
close
job
its
at
own-
InNOut soon. They have to pay $20 an hour too in California. So, but InNOut workers, they always seem very happy. So maybe I'll go work for them in a place. Okay, this is one. People are saying, okay, this is just funny. People are actually saying, I would have led with this, but they would have said it was a conspiracy theory. Alex Soros tweeted out something that people are saying is a threat against Donald Trump's life. That's this right here. So this is what Alexander Soros tweeted out, which is an article from The Atlantic with a bullet hole and a fistful of dollars. And Alex Soros says, last year, the crime and inflation crises. See, this is what I was just saying. He's saying the crime and inflation crises largely evaporated. So did the leading theories about what had caused them. So he's saying that there is no crime problem or inflation problem. That's what Democrats are saying. Is like, oh, people are overreacting. If they knew the real statistics, then they wouldn't say there was a crime problem. And I wonder how much social media has to do with that, in the sense that It might be true that crime numbers aren't as bad as people think. It could be because of things like Twitter that people think crime is worse than it is, because everything gets caught on video nowadays. But see if you see the secret subliminal message. It's a bullet hole, and count the money. So literally, Laura Loomer, some other people are saying this is a direct threat on Trump's life because he's holding the hand model in the ad there is holding $47. And if Trump wins, then he'll be the 47th president. You know what they say? They say that the elites, the Illuminati and stuff, that they have to tell you what they're going to do to you, and then it's okay to do it. That's a satanic thing, apparently. Has to do with karma. So bullet hole 47. Donald Trump, if he wins, will be the 47th president. So people are saying that that's a threat against him. All right. What about what some elites are saying? We heard Jamie Dimon not say positive. Well, yeah, say some positive things about Trump and negative things about Biden. But the Blackstone CEO says Biden shouldn't be reelected. So this is the Blackstone CEO, Schwartzman, I think his name is, saying that the U.S. isn't prepared for 4 more years of Biden.
Now got $2 trillion deficits with no end in sight. We've got our debt to GDP going up. We've got open borders with 8 million people coming over. You know, I don't know that the country, frankly, is prepared for 4 more years of that, because those things all poll very negatively. So I can't really project, you know, what would happen.
There you go.
Now,
So
God,
he's saying people aren't ready. Yeah, we run $2 trillion deficits, and that's not even the real. We're actually increasing the national debt by about $4 trillion every year right now. That, I don't know if that's not sustainable, especially at today's interest rates. We're already paying $1 trillion in interest every year on the debt. So he says we're not ready for another 4 years of Biden, and he is a banking elite. All right, so that's in the news. Let's see. Oh yeah. So checking the poll. 58% say Biden is going to drop out. 58% to 42% with 59 votes say that Biden is going to drop out. Well, that's what Trump said today. So I'll show you that. This is Trump.
Do you think Biden will drop out?
Personally, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
There you go.
Do you think Biden will drop out?
It's a short clip. Do you guys think so? We ran the poll. Dan Whiffen says, hopefully Trump stays in for 12 more years. Scott says open borders are great. Well, the Supreme Court just ruled that Border Patrol agents are allowed to remove the razor wire installed by Texas. You know, they took over a park in Texas. The Texas National Guard, I believe, did that. The Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that Border Patrol agents are allowed to remove razor wire installed by Texas. So that just broke in the news. And by the way, we're bombing Yemen right now. So let's see. I told you guys, I did the show yesterday about Ron DeSantis dropping out and endorsing Donald Trump. Do you guys want to hear his statement again? So DeSantis yesterday decided to drop out of the race and endorse Donald Trump. And that's all right. I covered it. So we're not going to cover the same thing twice. You guys can check out the show yesterday for that speech. So he dropped out, endorsed Donald Trump. He might have a place to play in the campaign. Trump said nice things about him. So here's Trump saying nice things about Ron DeSantis after he dropped out.
Before we begin, I'd like to take time to congratulate Ron DeSantis and of course, a really terrific person who I've gotten to know his wife, Casey, for having run a great campaign for president. He did. He ran a really good campaign. I will tell you, it's not easy. They think it's easy doing this stuff, right? It's not easy. But as you know, he left the campaign trail today at 3 p.m. And in so doing, he was very gracious and he endorsed me. So I appreciate it. I appreciate that. And I also look forward to working with Ron and everybody else to defeat crooked Joe Biden. We will have to get him out. We have to get him out. He's put our country at great peril, So I just want to thank Ron and congratulate him on doing a very good job. It's a tough situation. It's a tough thing to do.
There you go. So there's Trump turning on, and he's decided to retire the nickname he had for him, Ron DeSanctimonious. So Ron had no chance. Yeah, it's going to be Trump in a runaway. And he doesn't look like he's going to die. So here he is saying he's retired Ron DeSanctimonious.
He just said, will I be using the name Ron DeSanctimonious? I said, that name is officially retired.
All right. All right. So hold on. The U.S. Open, I'm sorry, the Australian Open is going on right now. A couple things happened in relation to the shots. There was a reporter who dissed Novak Djokovic for not taking the shot. And that reporter died suddenly at age 59 while covering the Australian Open, which is going on right now. So we don't know why, of course, or if the two things are related, but this guy unfortunately dropped dead at 59 years old, collapsed and died suddenly at the Australian Open. Now, somebody in the stands yelled out to Novak to get vaccinated, and then on match point, and then Ron DeSantis, Novak Djokovic served up an ace to win the match. So this is it.
4 match points.
Please.
Did you hear the guy? He goes, get vaccinated. I'll play it again.
4 match points.
Please.
Boom. So there you go. Get vaccinated. There, he's going to regret it. So there's a guy saying, and Novak hopefully wins. I like tennis. Hopefully he wins the Australian Open. All right, let's see. We have been talking about who Trump is going to pick for vice president. That's kind of the news, right? And there are a few ladies leading the way as far as betting odds go. So, but we don't know who he's going to pick. A lot of people, we talked about it on the last show. He was asked about it today. And this is his answer. He was asked about it. Well, I don't know if he was asked today, but here's what he
said in our town hall that you had an idea, or you might have already decided about your VP pick. When do you think you're going to make that?
Well, it's never really had that much of an effect on an election, which is an amazing thing. Both election and primary, it's never really had much of an effect. I may or may not release something over the next couple of months. There's no rush to that. It won't have any impact at all. The person that I think I like is a very good person, pretty standard. I think people won't be that surprised. But I would say there's probably a 25% chance it would be that person.
Is Senator Tim Scott on the list now?
No, he's a great guy. You know, he endorsed me. There's an example. Nikki comes from South Carolina. Tim Scott is from South Carolina. But if you look, the governor, great governor, another senator, Lindsey, we happen to like Lindsey. but Henry McMaster knows her very well. He endorsed me. It's very hard for a governor to endorse somebody when you have, Henry McMaster was the lieutenant governor under her, and he endorsed me, and he's going to be here tonight. In 15 minutes, you're going to be watching him speak. I'm going to introduce him. He's a great guy. He's done a great job. So almost everybody in South Carolina has endorsed me. What does that tell you?
There you go. That's on Nikki Haley. Now I have clips from Nikki. So she says she's the one candidate. It was her and Chris Christie who are both more critical of Trump. Vivek always shouted out Trump. He basically said, if you like Trump, vote for me, which was crazy. But Nikki Haley says both Trump and Biden are bad. Both Trump and Biden are bad. So these are some Nikki Haley clips. And then I'll show you the thing about her being her race comments, that she was discriminated against basically for her skin color. So here's Nikki Haley talking about Trump and Biden, kind of painting him with the same brush.
You just did it again, and we've heard you over and over in recent weeks on the campaign trail, lumping Donald Trump and Joe Biden together. Do you believe that they are equally bad for America?
It's not even what I believe, it's what Americans believe.
What do you believe? Because you're the one who's saying that.
I worry about the fact that they are so focused on investigations and things that they don't like and focused on the past. When do you ever hear either one of them talk about the solutions of the future? I'm doing this because I don't want my kids to live like this. We have got to start looking forward. You've got a country in disarray. You've got a world on fire, and you're going to focus on people who hurt your feelings. You're going to focus on investigations that are involved with your families. You're going to focus on vengeance. With me, it's no drama. It's no vendettas. It's just hard work. And it's making sure we're not thinking 4 and 8 years. We're thinking 20 and 30 years out. That's what it should be. And we've lost that. We lost that a long time ago, but we can get it back. And I'm going to prove every day to every American that they made the right decision when I get elected.
You don't want to go there on whether or not they're equally bad?
I mean, if either one of them was good, I wouldn't be running. Yes, they are equally bad. That's why I'm running. It's because I don't think we need to have Biden or Trump. I don't think we need to have two 80-year-olds sitting in the White House when we've basically got to make sure that we can handle the war situation that we're in. We need to know they're at the top of their game. We need to know that they can take care of our national security and our economy. Right now, I don't know that people feel like that with either one. So that's why we're giving them a choice.
There you go. And by the way, we're bombing Yemen right now. More airstrikes on Yemen. So there, she said, yes, they're equally bad. So that's not going to resonate too well with actual Republican voters who pretty much have a positive opinion of Trump. So that's her saying they're equally bad. Here's her making some dubious claims about race, about her race. And again, I always thought of her just like a white person, because of the way she looks, but she has Indian heritage, which she calls brown. So here is her saying that she was teased every day in school for being brown. Okay, I'll show you that. And actually, I have a picture too, which I'll show you. Okay, here she is saying she was teased for being brown every day.
We were the only Indian family in our small southern town. I was teased every day for being brown.
Really?
So anyone that wants to question it can go back and look at what I've said on how hard it was to grow up in the deep South as a brown girl. Anybody can look at my record and see when Walter Scott was shot down by a dirty cop, how I made sure that the Walter Scott family didn't suffer because we put the first body camera bill in the country in place. Anybody can look at the fact that when we had 9 amazing souls die in Mother Emanuel Church, I did something that no Republican or Democrat ever wanted to touch, which was call for the Confederate flag to come down because it would take 2/3 of the House and Senate and was an impossible feat. I don't know what you're implying with that, but what I will tell you is saying that I had Black friends is a source of pride. Saying that I had white friends is a source of pride. If you want to know what it was like growing up, I was disqualified from a beauty pageant because I wasn't white or Black, because they didn't know where to put me. So look, I know the hardships, the pain that come with racism. It's the reason that I fight bullies every day when it comes to racism, anti-Semitism, or hate, and I always will. If I didn't mention slavery on that day, it's because that's an automatic. There's always been, the Civil War's always been known about slavery.
There you go. So she's still having to respond to her gaffe, where when she was asked why the Civil War happened, she didn't mention slavery. Here's a picture of her class. And she looks more brown in the picture, but here's a picture of her class, which was very mixed with lots of black and white kids. She might have been, I don't know, lots of people with darker skin than hers. But did her skin lighten up or anything? Is there a conspiracy theory about that? So that's Nikki Haley, bring race into it. Some people are calling her Nikki Smollett. And then just a shout out to Titus Frost, who asked her a question in a Chick-fil-A. Here's Titus talking to Nikki Haley, asking her if she's embarrassed to be spending money on the race when she knows she's not going to win. That's not a nice thing to say. She wants to win. You always have to think you can win.
Good to see you. Nice to see you, Dean. Oh, I love that. We don't get out and vote on Tuesday. It's important.
Yeah, so can I ask you just like a tiny question?
Yeah.
Do you think it's responsible for politicians to spend like $100 million in Iowa on TV ads, which go to mainly news stations that have lied to us for years, when there's homeless veterans out there that could use that money? When you didn't even come close to beating Trump, and you spent like $100 million in TV ad money?
Do you know my husband's a veteran?
That's fine, but I'm
He's
just
a combat
saying.
veteran.
I'm
And do
asking
you know that
you.
when the media doesn't tell the truth, the whole reason you put commercials on is to tell the truth because
Yeah,
the
but
media doesn't?
My point is, you're not going to beat Trump, and
You know
all
what?
the money you're wasting could go to better causes.
I appreciate
that would make
that.
the Republican Party actually look better.
You know what?
See what I'm
Last I
saying?
saw, it was a democracy. So we're going to keep working for a good democracy. We're going to work for freedom. But thank you for your service.
There you go. Thank you for your service. But I don't think he's a veteran, actually. But he does work for a military contractor, I believe. So that was Dean Titus Frost hitting her with the hard question. Why are you spending all this money on the campaign? Hey, let me check my Buy Me a Coffees. Thanks, people who support the show. I could really use your support if you could afford a few bucks for a coffee, or if you want to become a member at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Just want to shout out Peter J. Swaghoven bought 3 coffees yesterday. Thank you, Peter. Scott Record, I'll show the tab. Scott Record bought 3 coffees, says, sorry, I missed most of the podcast. Sherry said she bought 2 coffees, said, love your work. Keep up the good job. Love your laugh. I wish I'd like to laugh even more. So thank you, everybody, just from the bottom of my heart, for supporting the show. I appreciate it. And you can give, super chats are fine too, whatever it is. So let's see. I have some stuff about men in sports, men and women's sports. That is. Let's see. Did you guys see Patriot Front? You guys think Patriot Front are feds? That's what everybody says. Did you guys see Patriot Front marching in New York City? I'll show you that. People say that if they were for real, that the media would be doing everything they could to dox them, and they don't even follow them or anything when they go home. So here is Patriot Front marching in Manhattan near Ground Zero. Pirate says, Glow Boys. There they are. They're all masked up. So there's Patriot Front. Let's see. I had the leader of Patriot Front giving a speech, so you guys can decide. Pirate says they get discounts on those khakis. Yeah, that's what the feds wear, right? So this is the guy with the mask off. This is their leader, apparently.
New York has been in the news quite a bit lately. Around 300 communists tried to shut down all the bridges around Manhattan this month to advocate for Palestine along the continued communist goals of turning this country into a collage of brown-black slums in which everyone is perfectly equal in their squalor. And it was also revealed that a bunch of Jews were literally undermining our country with a network of tunnels under Brooklyn. I don't know what exactly they were doing under there, but if it had to be done in a secret and illegal tunnel system, I can guarantee it was despicable. Even stranger, a bunch of people came out to defend the practices of this religious micro-minority in our country that is so vastly overrepresented in positions of power. The point of the matter is that our politics, especially the politics of America's largest city, are almost exclusively defined by foreigners and their foreign interests. So that's where we come in. Our interest is solely that of our people and our nation, who have this land as home and no other. America's policy towards all these people with foreign interests ought to be simple. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Anyways, stay posted for more live updates from New York City. Thank you.
There you go. That's the Patriot Front leader. What's his name? His name is Thomas Ryan Russo. I've listened to a podcast from him. I don't know. I think he might be a real person and not a Fed. I'm not sure. But certainly you'd think the media would be chasing him down. So let's hear Dana White give a defense of free speech in the UFC. He had a fighter who was coming out and said some stuff called reporter names, standing up against Trudeau. And they chanted F Trudeau at the UFC, at the last UFC fight.
About like, you obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, you know, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone, and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Like, is there?
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you
a leash.
Like
free speech. Control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people. I don't fucking tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want and they can believe whatever they want.
If about like,
okay, there you go. There's some men and women's sports, which I mentioned. Here's one. Riley Gaines posted this. A male player identifying as female. His name was Henry Handlin, scored 26 points in a girls' high school basketball game last week in San Francisco. This is the third consecutive game where he scored more than 1/3 of the team's points. So there he is on the left, he or she or whatever you're allowed to say on YouTube. So there's one case of it. There's a golfer that just won an LPGA satellite event. And John Daly commented on this transgender golfer saying, quote, "I would have won 100 tournaments if I threw on a skirt and called myself a T-word. That dude is as feminine as a Ford F-150. John Daly. Yeah, he would have won. He won the British Open a few times. He's a good golfer. A natural talent, maybe the most talent of anybody on tour. Okay, let's see what else I have for you. I showed you Patriot Front. The Biden administration is crafting plans for a sustained military campaign against the Houthis. So we're going to war against the Houthis in Yemen right now. And I just got the news update across my desk that there were, that we're doing some bombing right now. So, all right. I think that's what I have for you guys for the news today. Unless you guys have anything unless you guys have anything else for me. That's the news. All of the news from me, Lift the Veil. Once again, thank you for your support. I could use your prayers for tomorrow. I have something coming up. And I hope, oops, look at that camera. Wow. It really followed me down. Thanks for your wishes, well wishes and everything. I appreciate it. I have something coming up tomorrow that I hope goes well. And that's it. Thanks for your donations, coffees, buying our t-shirts. Check out our shirts at truthclothing.io. And we'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow still. All right. For now, that's what it is.